The DOJ really laid out this step-by-step plan for this scheme, and these are all allegations. She's innocent until proven guilty. Cherfilus-McCormick says that she's looking forward to fighting these allegations. She's innocent, and that she's looking forward to her day in court. But I do want to talk about these step-by-step, and if you could weigh in on what you think the most serious allegation is. First step being that this FEMA overpayment allegedly was not paid back. Then the money was allegedly laundered. Then that money was funneled to friends and family, who then used that money to donate to her campaign, and this would constitute as illegal straw donor contributions. Or the final step, she allegedly conspired with her accountant to file a false federal tax return. In your opinion here, what do you think is the most serious allegation?
I mean, they're all bad. I think probably the worst facts in this case, or the worst allegations, are that uh, she took the money, gave it to friends and family, or misappropriated it to friends and family, so it wasn't used for its intended use, and then they turned around and donated that money back to her campaign. I think when you're looking at what's the most damaging, what's a judge going to look at as the most egregious uh, conduct in this, I believe it's going to be that. Tax crimes can take a number of different takes. People can do the best they can, and things get categorized the wrong way, and maybe you owe the IRS some penalties, things like that. Those types of things can be worked through. But I think when you're looking at someone who is an elected official, who's in a position of really public trust, right? And now she's taken government taxpayer money for her own benefit, as they're alleging. Now, whether or not they can prove she did it, is another question for trial. But that type of behavior, I think, is going to be viewed as the most damaging and egregious by a court.
And she faces a slew of charges related to theft of government funds, money laundering, making and receiving straw donor contributions, as well as conspiring to file a false federal tax return. She was also slapped, in addition, with multiple conspiracy charges. When you're looking at all of these charges, what is the hardest to overcome?
Factually, I think the hardest for her to overcome is going to be probably the laundering, if they can trace the money and the use of the money. I think those are going to be, at least based on what the government's alleging, those are going to be the most difficult to explain away, either to a jury or to a judge, if in fact what the government has is as good as what they're saying.
And typically, when you're looking at financial crimes, is the evidence usually super cut and dry? And is that really hard to overcome? Because essentially, there's a money trail that can usually be traced back to you.
Yes and no. They reopened this investigation over the summer. So they've been, putting a bunch of time and resources into this. My guess is the government has got a money trail. They're going to have a forensic accounting type expert who can explain how this money came into her account, where it went to from there, and trace each one of those transactions. The flip side of that is the defense is probably also going to have a forensic accountant expert to try to, perhaps debunk those allegations. I've done a number of these financial type crimes, and they're not always, even though it seems like it would be easy, you just follow the money, which, can be true. But a lot goes into this, and a lot of times it's not quite as simple as it appears at first glance.